vehicles. Mike.
Trace Gallagher in LA tonight. Many thanks. Let's get some insight into California's energy issues and the impact the state's energy policy is having on the current crunch. From California, GOP State Assembly Leader James Gallagher and former Federal Energy Regulatory Commission Chairman Neil Chatterjee. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
These are anxious times for Californians dealing with the heat wave and uncertainty about the power grid. Let's play it.
Do have a generator ready to go just in case, just to keep my refrigerators going. Other than that, I just want to save my food. We're just keeping our fingers crossed that it doesn't happen to us.
With the heat, it's tough. I mean, your house gets hot and you can't use fans, can't use air conditioning.
James, how do you explain the fear of blackouts in your state?
Well, Mike, welcome to California, where the hypocrisy of Gavin Newsom and the Democrats knows absolutely no bounds. These are the people who want to ban fossil fuels and mandate electric vehicles, but they had no problem powering up those natural gas plants to just barely keep the lights on this weekend. I mean, it's unbelievable. This power crisis we're having out in California is a result of bad policy, period.
From the Washington Post, California scrambles to avoid blackouts as it pursues a green energy future despite the buy-in. Continued disruption of the power grid threatens to weaken public enthusiasm for such measures. Replacing natural gas-fueled plants with less consistent wind and solar energy is a balancing act. The price of renewable energy installations has also gone sharply up as developers struggle with supply chain disruptions and a trade dispute that hobbled the sale of solar panels for months. Neil, how do you explain this crisis?
Look, this is a self-inflicted crisis. Certainly the extreme heat is contributing to it, but it's the policy decisions that California has made that has put them in a position where, look, it is not comfortable to cool your house to 78 degrees when it's 105 degrees outside, to not have power when you need it. When I was at the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, my primary obligation was to make sure that when Americans hit the switch, the lights came on. California, by retiring gas plants before the balancing resources to offset that lost gas were ready, by reversing course and now deciding they need to keep open a nuclear plant that they wanted to shut down. These are political decisions, not energy and engineering ones. And it's hurting Californians.
The electric grid is being strained at a time when California leaders are pushing folks there to buy electric cars. James, is anybody rethinking that strategy?
Oh, I mean, people are just laughing about it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And in the same week that the governor announces he's going to mandate everyone have electric vehicles, he tells people, don't charge them this weekend, the ones that are out there, because we may face blackouts. And look, not to mention the cost of living is through the roof here in California. We're going to mandate that people have electric vehicles that are over $60,000. We already have people leaving the state. Imagine how fast they're going to leave if we take their cars and trucks away.
From the Hill, the state's power crunch is one more sign of how climate change is straining the national grid and forcing even climate-forward states to depend even more on traditional energy sources. Neil, is it climate change or bad policies?
Look, climate change is certainly having an impact, and we need to undergo an energy transition. The problem is you've got leaders who want to skip the transition part of the energy transition. And when you do that, when you wish that you can get to an outcome that you want without actually factoring in the dynamics that are necessary to maintain reliability, you wind up with a situation like this. We can't skip the transition part of the energy transition.
Well, gentlemen, hopefully the great state of California will get a break in the weather soon and perhaps some different policies. James, Neil, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up, have you ever noticed any restaurant surcharges or unexplained fees